Some of the drawbacks of using a rental car for rideshare. What up YouTube, it's your boy Jermaine back with another video, and in this video I thought I would talk about some of the drawbacks of using a car for rideshare. Now if you follow some of my vlogs online, some of my videos on YouTube, you know that I'm very involved in the sharing economy, and I also like to rent cars to use for Uber and some of the other sharing economy platforms, and I just thought I would, talk about some of the drawbacks. So one drawback I had just recently was, let's see, so I rented a car. I was supposed to rent it for 1 week, but after that 1 week was up, I called, Hertz and extended it for another week, and then extended it for another week. Come to find out, I extended the car for 4 weeks. Well, 2 weeks into renting the car, what happens? Well, the registration on the car expired. So what does this mean? Well, you guys know how the Uber platform is. Whenever any of your documents expire, you try to go online, you're unable to log online. So I thought it was a bummer that I'm renting a car to do rideshare with, and now this car, the registration's up and I can't go online. So what do I have to do? I have to take the time out and go down to the Uber office, and then once I get down to the Uber office, I discover, well, actually it's not Uber's fault. I need to go to Hertz to get the updated registration. So, then I take more time, go down to Hertz, get the updated registration, and then from there I go back to the Uber office, because there is a way that you can upload the registration without going to the Uber office. However, that could take a couple hours for everything to process. But if you go back over to the Uber office and wait there for like 15 or 20 minutes, they're able to update your documents automatically and you can start working instantly. So that's what I did, and that took a lot of time. Now, all of that was not the worst thing in the world, not that big of a deal. Like, that will not happen to every single driver, and the odds of that happening is once a year, because that's usually when car license plates expire, once a year. Other problems I've had with renting a car. This is not really a problem. I guess this can happen to anyone, but just in my situation, it just really sucked. When I first started to rent cars with Uber, they had this partnership with Enterprise. It was around $230 a week. Back then, I thought that was a great deal, and then Hertz came along, and now Hertz, you can rent a car for like $200 a week. Now, when I rented that car with Enterprise back then, I had a little problem. I'm driving down the freeway, a rock flies, hits the windshield, and cracks the windshield straight across. So I'm like, that really sucks. Like, I'm probably gonna have to pay for that because this is a rental car. If this was my personal car, it would be completely different. For example, when I did own my own car, I had this special coverage on my insurance that if any windows in the car was broken, I only had to pay a $50 deductible. And that's not bad for a windshield. You only pay $50 and you get a new windshield. But in my case, it was a rental car, so it's not covered under that same deal as it would under someone's personal insurance policy. The Enterprise rental car, I had to come out of my pocket and pay $250 to replace the windshield. Not that big of a deal. Like, windshields don't break on cars all the time. Luckily, you don't have to replace a windshield that often. And I thought to myself, okay, I'm glad that's over with. Maybe I won't have any more problems with, cracked windshields or that sort of thing. And then what happened? 2 weeks ago, I'm driving down the freeway. I'm in Oakland once again. I've had all my cracked windshields. They all have happened in Oakland, by the way. Driving down the freeway. There's like a truck in front of me. Well, there's a whole bunch of trucks in front of me. I'm pretty far from all the cars. I'm not telling anyone really close, and what happens? A rock flies up from the street, hits the windshield, and it makes like this small little crack in the window, and I already know, okay, that's gonna crack straight across. It's just a matter of time. That really sucks. 15 minutes later, another rock hit the windshield, and it hit like on the other side. And that one instantly made like a crack. And then a couple hours later, when it first hit, it was like a crack like straight across. And then after a few hours, it was like this crack down, and I'm just like, oh, I'm so pissed off. Like, I gotta replace the windshield again. Of course, I remember when I replaced my windshield with the Enterprise rental car, it cost me $250. So if this Hertz rental, I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking, yeah, it's gonna be about $250. Let's just plan for $250. It's gonna cost $250. This really sucks. It's just like getting a freaking ticket in San Francisco, and it's just money just flying out out of my pocket, and this was something that was completely out of my hand. Like, I can't stop rocks from hitting my windshield when I'm flying down the freeway, or if I'm, you know, doing 20 miles an hour down the freeway. It's just something that's completely out of my hand. But anyway, rock hits the windshield, and I'm thinking, crap, I'm gonna have to pay for that. Check this out. When I took the rental car back to Hertz, they only charged me $150. So I was really stoked. I'm like, yes, I just saved $100, but actually I still spent $150 that I would not have spent if I would not have had a rock hit the windshield and crack the windshield. That's just one thing that's really annoying about renting a car. Like, stuff like that can happen. I mean, but honestly, that can happen if you're borrowing a friend's car, or that could just happen. Stuff like that just happens. Other things that can kind of suck about renting a car with Hertz. Okay, you can only keep the car for 4 weeks, and for me that's not that big of a deal, but let's just say you want to keep the car for 6 weeks. You're gonna have to go back to the Hertz dealership, return the car, and then re-rent another car for 2 weeks. That's not that big of a deal. Another thing that really annoyed me the most about renting a car with Hertz, and I've actually heard this from 2 other people, and that's why I'm bringing it up in this video. Otherwise, if I would not have heard this from other people, maybe I would not be talking about this. How they deduct the money out of your bank account can be really tricky and really confusing. Let me give you guys an example. Okay, so the first week I rented the car, right? And when I rented the car, I put $200 down and I put $200 for the security deposit. So $400. It's a $400 pending charge, all right? So the money is not in your account. After 1 week goes by, I call up Hertz and I extend the reservation. I say, hey, I want another week. Now, during that week, I noticed some very unusual things happening with my account. So Hertz would like sort of freeze like $50, and then they would freeze like $45, and they would freeze like, you know, $50 again. So when I would go to my Trace account, I would look down and it would say pending charges Hertz $45, pending charges Hertz $50, pending charges. And after a while I'm thinking, okay, these are pending charges, so money is not in my account, so no big deal. Like, Hertz already took the money. But no, like, Hertz like sort of took the money and froze that, you know, roughly $150, and then after a certain amount of time they release the money, and then you have access to the money in your account again. Don't ask me, this is really confusing. I don't know why Hertz does this. It's like, it's a mess, because you think that you have more money in your account, but actually you don't. By the 3rd week rolls around, you think of all those pending charges that are in your account, and then the 3rd week rolls around and you think, okay, I'm good. You have all these pending charges that you thought were taken out of your account, but actually they were not taken out of your account. Hertz will take that money and freeze that money, and then they will release that money back into your account. I don't know why they do this. This is super annoying. And then you're gonna get the final bill, and most people, or at least other subscribers that I've talked to, they thought once they got the final bill, after keeping the car for 4 weeks, they get the final bill, let's say it's around $800. They thought that the money was already deducted out of their account with all those pending charges. But actually the money was not deducted out of your account with all those pending charges. Hertz put the money back into your account. I don't know, and then maybe you just forgot that Hertz put the money in your account, and then you go to return the car, you get this bill of $800, you leave and you're thinking, okay, they've taken out all this money from the past couple of weeks, so now they're only probably gonna take out $200 or $300. But no, they're gonna take out the full amount. And a couple of subscribers have told me this. They're like, look, dude, like, you know, I rented the car, I thought it would be a good deal, but then all of a sudden, you know, I go into my bank account and like there's all this money missing. All that money is missing because Hertz returned all of that money back into your account, and you probably just forgot about it. Like I say, I have no idea why Hertz, like, why they do the money thing the way that they do, but it's one thing that's just like, it's really annoying. If anyone is watching this video from Hertz, please come up with a more simpler way to, you know, bill for the rental cars. Or if someone like extends the rental, like, don't like deduct money out of their account and then give it back to them, because I've heard from a handful of people that, you know, they're just like, it just doesn't even make sense how they do the whole deductions. Let's talk about some of the cars that I've rented from Hertz. Now, for the most part, I really don't have much bad news to tell you about some of the cars that I've rented from Hertz. All of them have been really nice for the most part. Now, I did get one car that smelled really bad. Maybe someone like puked in it, and the person that was cleaning up the puke did not do the best job ever. But like I say, it wasn't like the baddest thing in the world, but it was one of those cars that I said to myself, I don't think I'm gonna pick up passengers in this car. I'm only gonna do Uber Eats in this car, but you guys know how I am. I switch up the game all the time. For the most part, I think the Hertz rental program is a really, really good program for drivers. However, not all markets will profit the same. And I really say that, and I really want people to pay attention to me when I say that, because in San Francisco, it's going to be much easier to cover the cost of the rental, which is $200. And in other cities that Hertz offer the rental car program for the Uber platform, it's the same price. Some cities are going to make more money. In other cities, you're just not going to make as much money, but yet the rental car costs the same amount. So results are going to vary city by city, and it's also going to vary by how often do you work. Are you a part-time driver that only drives Friday and Saturday nights in a market where you could drive more and make more money, or are you the type of driver that you're full-time and this is the only thing you do and you drive 40 to 50 hours a week? The Hertz rental car program is going to work very, very well for you, because you actually drive enough to fill the savings, because you don't have to worry about the whole depreciation, that whole deal going on. So the bottom line, would I recommend the Hertz rental car program for everyone? Well, I would not recommend it for everyone, but the people I would recommend this program for are drivers who are full-time, or drivers who just want to drive in a new car, and maybe you just want to work part-time, and this is a way for you to ride around in a new car all the time, because every couple of weeks you can switch up your ride. You know, this week you can be riding in a red car, next week you can be riding in a black joint, you know, so it can kind of work out. I would not recommend Hertz rental car if you live in one of those markets where Friday, Saturday nights is the busiest time. I wouldn't do it, because if you live in a market where Friday and Saturday nights is the busiest, chances are there's going to be a lot of people driving Friday and Saturday nights in your market, because that's the busiest night, meaning that you're going to have a lot of competition. And I don't know if that's going to be worth it, you know, renting a car and then you still got to put some gas in it, and you know, maybe it just won't be worth it in all markets. I'm sorry to say, but the Hertz rental car deal is definitely not worth it in every market. Oh yeah, one more thing about the Hertz rental car program. You can actually pick from different cars. Whenever I rent cars from Hertz, I usually get the one that's $200 a week. But if you want to go a little bit cheaper, I did see a car on there for I think $190 a week. The only reason why I don't pick that car is because that car doesn't have a trunk. It's more of a hatchback. It's a 4-door hatchback, so you still can use it for UberX and Uber Pool. I just feel a little weird driving a hatchback car, so that's why I pay the extra money and just get one that's like $200 with a trunk, you know, that sort of thing. But anyway, hopefully this video helped out someone out there. Hopefully I was able to answer a few questions about the Hertz rental car program and things I like about it, things I don't like about it. But for the most part, it's a program that I highly recommend. And yeah, if you don't have a car and you still want to be an Uber driver, well, not having a car is not an excuse anymore. You could just rent a car through the Hertz program and use it on the Uber platform and make money. And anyway, time to wrap this video up. But thanks a lot for watching. If you guys like this video, definitely give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more awesome videos like this from me, hit that subscribe button right below. And yo, thanks a lot for watching. Peace out.